Hello folks and welcome to this week's news roundup. This is where I round up all the latest UK car news straight from Tinternet. Obviously I did the first one of these last week and I asked for your feedback on it, and luckily I got lots of thumbs up. So if you did it last week, A, thanks very much, and B, do it again. And loads of really nice comments and stuff for people that saying, yeah, we really want to see something like this. So I'm going to do this every Sunday. And it's going to come out at 8:30 every Sunday morning. All right, so please keep tuned in. Make sure you click that notification bell so that you know when these videos are launched, and spread the word, please. I was expecting to feel a bit like Kurt Zuma's cat by the time that thing had been released, but yeah, it was really surprising. So thanks very much for the support. And as I said, there's going to be one of these every Sunday at 8:30 in the morning. Right, car industry's confident chip crisis will ease by the end of 2022. The consensus says semiconductor supply is set to normalise, but it's not over just yet. This is from Autocar, by the way, if you hadn't guessed by the big Autocar up in the corner. Now on this, don't forget that even though the semiconductor thing might get dealt with, and some of the companies, I know Elon Musk came out, I think they reference it in here, yeah. Elon Musk came out and said they'd actually rewritten some of their softwares and things so that they needed fewer semiconductors. And although the chip shortage may well get resolved in 2022, just think of the back orders that these companies have got. Just the fact that semiconductor shortage is resolved in 2022 doesn't necessarily mean the customer's going to see that. So we might still be seeing some really long delays on factory orders going right into 2023. Right, so this is from the Times. Jaguar Land Rover gets £500 million push from the taxpayer as global chip shortage stalls production. So the taxpayer has given Jaguar Land Rover £500 million of state guaranteed loans as the UK vehicle manufacturer attempts to kickstart its transition to an electric car company amid mounting losses. Jaguar Land Rover, part of the Tata Motors group, which is listed on the Indian stock market, said that it sold just 800,000 vehicles in 3 months to the end of December, a year-on-year fall of 38%. I get that, right, but Jaguar Land Rover could do themselves a favour by making their cars reliable, and probably that would stop some of the leakage. I know Jaguar Land Rover are a major employer in the UK, but Tata Motors, part of that Tata Steel, I mean, it's huge. Do they need our money massively? I don't know. I don't do politics on this channel, so I'm going to move on. Right, this one's from the Mail. Good news for motorists as parking fines will be cut to £50 under major crackdown on cowboy companies. So these are those private car parks you go to and you get £100 fine, £150 fine, whatever it may be. Well, now the law is going to say they can only charge you £50. I think that's a great move and more than welcome. Right, this here is from SMMT, which is basically the source of most of the stats for the UK motoring industry, really. Grey is still our favourite colour of car, ladies and gents. So this is the most popular colour for each of these years. And then you've got the second favourite for each of these years, third favourite, fourth, fifth, etc. It was all silver in the sort of early 2000s. Then we went to black for a few years. Then we had 4 years of white. Then we had a black one again. And then we went to a darker grey. It's interesting this, isn't it? Because when you think about it, black and white are quite often the colours you get for free. Sometimes you get a red thrown in for free. And the silvers and the greys you almost always have to pay for. Not with every car, but with lots of them. Having said that, I've got 2 grey cars that are basically that colour sitting on my drive right now. Yeah, this is not hard-hitting journalism here, folks, is it? But I just thought it was interesting and thought you might find it interesting. Or you might find it as grey as those cars, I don't know. Right, I just wanted to show this little website because this is really interesting. It's called How Many Left? I don't know if you've seen this before, but you can just put any make and model of car in. I'm just going to put in one of my old beauties here, the Austin Maestro 1.6 Auto, which I was pounding the streets of Bournemouth in at 18 years of age. You can imagine I was very popular with the ladies in that thing. But it tells you how many is still left. And not many. Not surprised because the one I had was an absolute dog. But there we go. So in 1994, quarter four of 1994, there were 11,552 of those still on the road. Right now, there are 8. Yeah, 8. And 24 are sawn, so 24 are not on the road, but only 8 still going in the UK. But it's a really cool thing, this. It's really fun. You can just put in any car you can think of. I'll tell you what I haven't seen on the road for ages is a Ford Orion. Unfortunately, it doesn't. You have to be very specific. It doesn't just give you every Orion. A Ford Orion E, let's have a look. 10. Anyway, not news, but something interesting I thought you might like. Autocar again for this one. UK is one of the most expensive countries to buy a car, a study says. Yeah, I'm not massively surprised by that, in all fairness. So, nothing, nothing much to say on the subject. Now for a word from our sponsors. Hello guys, I'm going to talk to you about HelloFresh. This is a fantastic recipe and ingredient delivery service. They send you a box with recipes that you choose for the number of people that you choose every week, with clear instructions how to put everything together, making the cooking and preparation of the food an absolute breeze. This is restaurant quality food that you can make right in your own kitchen, even if you're not the best cook in the world. We've been doing it for a while and we've amassed quite a few recipes, as you can see. We've got recipes like this one, pork steak and creamy peppercorn sauce. All the ingredients for this come in a bag. This is recipe 26. It'll be in a bag with 26 on it. And it tells you step by step all the way. Herbie crumb chicken, ultimate fish and chips, presto bacon and mushroom linguine, thyme roasted chicken, and cauliflower rigatoni cheese. It's a great way to try out new flavours and you don't have to be a whiz in the kitchen. Give it a try. Use my link, which is in the video description and also pinned as the top comment, and you'll get 46 quid off your first 3 boxes. If you don't like it when you've done that, just cancel it. You can cancel at any time. Give it a whirl, use my link, and it helps support the channel. Thanks a lot. Okay, so the World Car of the Year awards are coming up, and I'm just going to rattle through the finalists for that. So any one of these could potentially be the World Car of the Year for 2022. Steve Fowler from Auto Express is on the judging panel. I really like his stuff. Audi Q4 e-tron, Cupra Formentor, Ford Mustang Mach-E, the Genesis G70, I like those, Honda Civic, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, Hyundai Tucson, Kia EV6, Lexus NX, and the Toyota GR86, which is also the Subaru BRZ. What would you choose out of those? I'd be stuck between, I think, probably the EV6, the Ioniq 5, or the Lexus NX. I really like that Lexus NX. That's a nice looking car. I hope to have a drive in one of those fairly soon. Let me know what you go for in the comments. I don't know how many of you are familiar with James Batchelor. He's often known as Batch. He's got a YouTube channel called Batch Reviews, which I suggest you check out. And he used to do some of the reviews on Car Buyer. James is quite a talented journalist, and he does quite a lot for Car Dealer magazine. And this is quite an interesting piece. The used cars that have gone up most in value in the last 12 months, according to Cap HPI. So this is not anecdotal. This is from Cap HPI. Right, number 10 is the Hyundai i800, but years 18 to 20 diesel. Average percentage increase is 55%. Then we've got the Citroen Berlingo Multispace 08 to 18. Have gone up 55% in a year. Suzuki Baleno 16 to 19, 57%. Toyota Verso 09 to 18, 58%. Funnily enough, I was having a look at that as a potential replacement for our Touran, and they were just ridiculously expensive for anything without sort of astronaut mileage on it. Citroen Grand C4 Space Tourer 18 onwards, 58%. They've gone up on average 7 grand. Mercedes V-Class 14 to 19 diesel, gone up 59. Have you noticed that these are nearly all people carriers? How interesting is that? Because not many people are still making people carriers, and all these used cars that have gone up massively in the last 12 months, apart from that, so far, have been people carriers. Next one, there's another one, Vauxhall Combo Life. So that's obviously like a car-derived van. And then Kia Soul, it's not a people carrier. Vauxhall Zafira, 64% the Zafira's gone up. Wow. And then the Auris Hybrid. So number one isn't. Number one's a normal car. Yeah, that's really interesting, that. How many MPVs have shot up in value in the last year? I guess some of that would come from people doing staycations and stuff and realising that actually when you go away for a couple of weeks in the UK or maybe camping and stuff like that, you want half the house with you. I don't know. Next, from BBC News, we've got our bell end of the week, and this is a drunk driver with a child in the car, jailed for crash whilst racing. It sounds like him and his mates have been in the boozer half the day, and then he's chucked his ex and his kid into the car, and they decide to go street racing. And funnily enough, had a massive crash. Luckily, nobody died. He got 16 months in prison and a 3-year ban from driving. Seems a bit lenient, doesn't it? And then the other two, one got a 12-month sentence and one got 14-month sentence. Both had also admitted dangerous driving and were given 2-year driving bans. What an absolute scrotum. So you're probably aware of Toyota GR, so like the GR Yaris and that kind of thing. It's their racing brand, so Toyota Gazoo Racing. And they've unveiled a GR GT3 concept at the Tokyo Auto Salon. They've also shown a GR Sport concept for the BZ4X, that new battery SUV that they've got coming out. Let's have a look at these. Oh, that's very nice, isn't it? That's kind of a Batmobile. This thing's really cool as well. This is the BZ4X, the GR version. And I think that, and there you got the GR Yaris, obviously. But that's a gorgeous looking thing, isn't it? I really like what they're doing with their styling of late. So I'm just on Toyota's Twitter at the moment, and check that out, by the way. The compact cruiser concept is our vision for a retro-styled, all-electric SUV of the future. Does it remind you of anything? Yeah, it does. Look at that thing. So good. The Mirror reports that over half of drivers feel they're overcharged when getting their car fixed. Is that a massive surprise to anyone? Obviously, there are some really honest garages out there, but there are certainly some that aren't. I personally know someone who worked for quite a well-known tyre fitting brand where you can quickly pop in and get your tyres changed on your car, and they were very strongly targeted on upsells on certain things. So you go in for one thing and they try and get you coming out with something else. And he lasted about 2 weeks there as a result of that. So not particularly groundbreaking news, but I think it always pays to look at reviews and reputation and ask for recommendations for car repair places, because there are good and bad out there. So in last week's news, I reported on this new potential government scheme to tax people per mile in future when everyone starts using EVs as opposed to fossil fuel cars, because they've got a £35 billion tax plug to fill in. This article here in the Express is saying that drivers could receive free miles or exemptions based on a couple of things. So the committee said that concessions could be made for certain types of groups of drivers under a new road pricing structure for societal fairness. They claim these groups could include drivers with mobility issues or motorists who live in remote areas and need to travel further to reach amenities. It says they could provide an allowance of free travel miles, gear the system to support vulnerable groups such as those with mobility issues and people who reside in remote areas. Right, from Auto Express, the Smart #1 has been confirmed for their electric compact SUV. I touched on this. I recently did a video, I don't know if you've seen it, but it'll be up there if you haven't, on some interesting affordable cars coming next year. And this was one of them, little smart compact SUV. Looks super cool, all electric, and it's going to be called the Smart #1 or the Smart 1. So we've got some pictures over here. I don't know if this is like the photographer's camouflage stuff or if this is what it's actually going to look like. If so, it's going to look fairly bananas, isn't it? But there you go, quite a funky little thing. Okay, a couple of quick ones here from Car Magazine. Basically, the Ioniq 5 is going to get a bit more tech in 2022. Slight improvement to the battery range of the longest range version, which should see it push up to about the 300-mile range mark. And then again from Car Magazine, we've got news that the Gordon Murray T33 supercar has already sold out. If you don't know who Gordon Murray is, he's the man behind the McLaren F1, which is sort of seen as one of the most possibly infamous and possibly one of the best supercars there's ever been. He has set up Gordon Murray Automotive, his own car brand, and he's released a couple of cars that definitely have a bit of a tip of the hat to some of the things he's made in the past, shall we say. But the T50 was the first one that I saw going around Goodwood earlier this year, being driven by Dario Franchitti, which is pretty cool. This one is the T33. This is the affordable option at only £1.4 million, and they're only making 100 of them. Well, they've all gone. Okay, so there you go. Nice to know that there are people with serious money out there that can chuck £1.4 million at a car like this. It's obscene, really, isn't it? I suppose if you've got the money, enjoy it. Last week, of course, I announced the launch of my merchandise store, and thank you for everyone that's gone on that and purchased something. And I just thought I'd share with you how that's going so far. Oh, no sales. Just think how much better your life would be drinking from that mug right now. And today only, the 13th of Feb 2022, there's 20% off everything on the store. And then for the next 3 days, there'll be 15% off. All right, there's a link in the video description and pinned as the top comment. And that's it for this week, folks. Just a little roundup again for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Come back next Sunday morning for more of the same, and please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so.